You doing entity removals in your hypnotherapy sessions?
Yes. She kind of like sat up. that alone was terrifying. The eyes closed. She kind of like leaned forward, and this being was like, you will encounter beings that no one else will encounter, and you need to prepare because they're coming. I'm the tip of the iceberg.
Oh my gosh. Hello, my love. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast here on YouTube. I am going to ask you to take just a moment before enjoying this episode and go and hit the subscribe button. It not only helps the show, but it helps the channel. And I only want to continue to bring you incredible content and beautiful video content here on the YouTube. So just take a moment before enjoying the episode and hit subscribe. Thank you. Oh, my loves, get ready. I have reigning champion Leo Max back to the podcast for his third episode. Leo is one of my dearest friends and also one of my healers and guides. He moves with such depth and integrity and power, and he's freaking hilarious. I really made an intention for this series of interviews that I wanted to bring in people who have really impacted me and who I have just an immense gratitude for the ways that they've helped me heal and mature and evolve in my own life. And Leo is just, bar none, one of the most magnificent humans, friends, and also guides. And we really get deep on a lot of different topics. And he's just a very spiritual, magical person. And if you are not familiar with Leo, and also very grounded and he's got like this East Coast swag that is just hard to deny. But if you've never met Leo, you're in for such a treat. And if you are an NB babe and you've been with me for a long time, then I know you'll be so happy to have Leo back on the show. Thank you as always for tuning in, and I hope that you love the episode. Reigning champion, third episode.
Heavyweight champ.
I said no one's been on the show more than me than you. I'm so grateful to have you, Leo. Hi.
Hello.
My long time, not only one of my healers and my guides, but I made you be my friend.
This is true. A lot of lovely, aggressive voice notes.
So back in, I think this was 2020,
Mm-hmm.
I spotted you on someone's Instagram story. And I saw you and I go, oh my God, that looks like an archangel. And I'm like, what is going on? And I go and look at your profile and slide into your DMs, not romantically. I was in a full-blown relationship. And I literally just was like, what are you up to? And you're like, I'm at a housewarming. I just moved to Austin. And I was like, what's your sign? I was like, are you a Capricorn? And you go, I'm a Scorpio. And I was like, you are the most Scorpio person I've ever seen in my life. And Leo, what did you send me that night in the DMs?
All I remember getting a slew of voice notes. I was at a housewarming party. I was like, guys, I'm going to go to the other room and listen to what this woman is saying. I don't know who she is, but it sounds important. And I think I was like, go watch a couple of the clips of what I do. If you can hang, then come back.
Literally.
Basically.
And they were literally you doing entity removals in your hypnotherapy sessions.
Yes. And
I remember being so scared, but so fascinated.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really how our friendship began.
As all good ones do. all true lasting friendships blossom from entity removal videos.
Literally. But I'm just so grateful for you and I love you so much. Thanks for coming all the way from New York to be on the show.
Honored to be here for round 3.
I know, and we matched our outfits. Kinda.
Had to.
I already knew. I was like, I'm wearing black for this.
You knew what was going to.
I'm like, we're going Scorpio vibes.
We had
So for any of my angels, maybe they're newer in the NB community. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah.
ASL?
I call myself a spiritual hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
The work that I do is interesting because it's such a wide range of where people go, what people can experience. What I have learned over the years is to trust your system on where to lead us. So I call myself also a subconscious guide because I'm there, I'm helping you drop in, I'm helping navigate, but I'm really just asking questions. And I always wanted to know where things come from, what is underneath all of the layers, what's under that one, what's under that one, and what's under that one, and what's causing this symptom, and how did this behavior start? I was just too curious not to find out firsthand. And I think that's the joy and beauty of hypnotherapy. That's conversational because not all hypnotherapy, you're going back and forth with the client and practitioner. So my sessions are much longer than pretty much anyone else, to be honest. My first session can go 4 to 5 hours because I have a lot of questions.
Yes. And you
I
are
like to
a
be
master
thorough.
at communicating with the subconscious and the other side. We're going to talk about that.
Yes. So I was always a spiritual kid, always very curious. And I was the kid in the friend group that was the healer in the friend. Just the person everyone called, everyone leaned on when there was crisis. You called Leo. When my friends were in crisis and we were out like in high school causing absolute chaos and their moms were like, oh, but Leo's there. Oh, okay, never mind. It was always like, oh, they ran away. Oh, but Leo's there. They'll come back. It's like,
my God.
Even, all my friends' parents, they knew they were going to be okay.
Leo, you just have like one of those, I don't think this is a word, but like presences.
Presences. It is now.
You have a presence that just feels very sure-footed. Like whenever I'm around you, not to mention, we have probably done, how many sessions do you think we've done together at this point? I did your ending 2030 strong.
ending
I signed up for
ending 2030 strong.
2020 was it ending 2024 strong?
She signed up for a container. Ending 2024 strong.
And we finished it at the end.
And if you've been watching the pod, you've seen a lot of things have happened in your life around that time. And it kind of all started with this container.
We're going to talk about it. I swear to God. I mean, it was literally like, I signed up for that with you. And then, my dad died. I do want to talk about something with that because I think I should just publicly honor you for the space you have held for me in really, really hard moments. Like get you a Scorpio. They're going to be able to walk through the fire. Sometimes I look at you and I can't remember all of the out of body experiences I've had over the last couple of years and how you've just been this solid, I'm going to say sure-footed presences in my life. Like you've just been there for me. And I don't know how many sessions we've done. I think maybe like 8.
That sounds right.
Yeah, definitely a few. And I did ending 2024 strong. But then
when did we finish it?
But then our joke became, because we ended it in the end of 2025. So we joked
can we have one more month to finish? Can we push this a little bit?
Leo's like, well, we freaking did 2, and then my whole life imploded. And then it was like, and then towards the end of the year, I was like, I feel like I'm ready. But you were so understanding. You were like, don't stress. You're like, the work is working and
something is moving. The energy's moving. Your life is changing. That's majorly. What it's meant for.
And I also think, we've done a lot of different work. I've had regressions where I'm buried alive or stoned to death, afraid to use my voice. I think a big theme that's come up in the sessions we've done is really fear around holding power and fear around holding visibility and taking, I don't want to trigger anyone, but just like I've seen things in my regressions with you that are just really harrowing and like violent. And of course, just a disclaimer. So if people still book sessions with you, you don't feel it. It's the subconscious like going to that memory to relieve it, correct? That's always how it felt. It always felt very relieving. And like I had context for why some of these hangups were occurring in my life. And I think healing the throat is because isn't the throat chakra associated with truth,
Absolutely.
owning truth? And I feel like that's what needed to happen even at the end of December when me and my ex decided to have the first conversation around leaving our relationship, which I talked to you that day on the phone, I think for 5 hours. I think you drove home with me from Arizona on the phone. And like by the end, I remember going so back and forth with you. Yeah. But we really unearthed some things because we did 2 freaking sessions or maybe 3, I don't remember. And it was like everything, all my truth started to tap in. And my allowance of truth, I think also was a really powerful catalyst for him to be an allowance of his truth. So that's just that's one perk of the work, I suppose. But it was very cataclysmic for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think people think you're going to get on the healing path. You're going to start to make your life better and that things will improve. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it looks a lot more rocky in the in-between because you finally have enough presence and truth to see the places I haven't been looking at.
Absolutely.
So it's like I regained more internal truth and visibility. And now that I have it, what am I seeing?
Yes. Yes.
And that's the part that can get a little rocky.
And it can be like destructive initially because it's like what needs to be cleared out. And I think one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had with you, if I had to pinpoint one, where oh my God, I think it was our first session. And we've talked about this on the pod before, but where you, I mean, I don't want to say you, because you're obviously guiding and facilitating, but where we went to that life where I was abused and for the whole beginning of my life, essentially. And then on my deathbed, I was like crying out, like, women need to be protected. Women need to be protected.
Yeah.
I wasn't protected. And then we channeled my grandmother and we had Bubby coming through. You gave me a beautiful necklace that says Bubby on it.
Yeah.
Then we had like an Archangel Michael moment where he was like, why do you think she has that sword on her necklace? I mean, I used to wear a sword necklace all the time. And then you also removed an entity from my solar plexus.
All in a day's work.
All in a day's work. And when I watch you in action, not only it's been so, I mean, obviously I'm in a totally different state of consciousness in the work with you, still aware, but like very liminal, I would say. It's so cool to see you work because it's just the most Scorpio thing freaking ever. You're literally just having these conversations with these beings that are not incarnate. What the fuck? What is that like for you? And also for anyone who maybe has some fear around what this means or entities or anything like this. This was actually our first conversation where you popped off in the NB universe where we talked about this. Well, let's take it back to 2021 and
roll the tapes.
Talk to us a bit about like entities, what they are, and then even just how you trust yourself and just having these conversations and helping these beings, you know, make their way out of the body system.
Yeah, I think all creations deserve respect.
I love that.
In all forms.
Yeah.
Even if they're showing up aggressive.
Yeah.
Ill-intentioned sometimes. And not all entities are, and for people listening. And we all have different definitions, but for me, an entity is a soul that does not have a body, that has attached to someone else's system. So they're kind of an energetic parasite. So they have their own personality, their own thoughts, their own belief systems. The majority that attach to people, at least that I have found, are humans that have passed, but when they passed, they didn't go up into the light. They stuck around. So we call those earthbounds in the biz.
In the biz.
We call them EBs.
In the lingo.
In the biz, earthbounds. Yeah, they're in limbo. They're in the in-between. I mean, no one's going to come down and drag you by the neck to go up to heaven. You have free will here. Yeah. You have free will out of a body. So you're welcome to have the experience that you want to have. And if that means attaching to Natalia when she's in her 20s in an apartment in LA.
Yeah, I was partying.
Because
my
she was
frequency
partying,
was very low.
and her field was open. And you go, oh, that looks nice in there. She looks fun. I'm going to hang around her. You know, you could end up leaving that apartment and that being goes with you.
Wow.
And how do you know that? How do you figure that out? And how do you get rid of them? So when they come up in my sessions, this is also, I think, something people don't realize is they come up naturally. I'm not looking for them. I'm not searching. I'm not poking and prodding. I'm not like, hey, knock, knock, anybody home?
Literally, it just came. And I remember it being very in the flow of what we were doing. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, what is this? You know, it was really fascinating because my consciousness is obviously still, I'm totally aware of what's going on. But then all of a sudden it's like this energy and this being wanted to talk, and it was just not, obviously it just wasn't me.
Yeah. So they tend to just show up by interrupting the session of what's ever going on. You're talking to your inner child and you're like, oh wait, I don't know, something feels weird. Like I'm starting, like my shoulders are getting tight and my voice is closing and I'm feeling really strange. But I'm talking to my 8-year-old, like something doesn't make sense. It's not aligning with what's going on. And sometimes that's our own internal sabotage, our own parts. And sometimes it's something that's not you, that's completely foreign to your system. And to go back to your question, I kind of become the therapist for this other soul. For a short
I've noticed
of time.
that.
It's very strange. I call it spiritual community service because it's like, well, my client is paying me. I'm going to help you for a little while so that I can help them.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a workaround when they step through. But again, I mean, they're lost, they're confused, and they deserve compassion like we all do.
Yeah. I want to share a really freaky story that I've never shared ever. And I want to talk about how you helped me through that. Thank God I have had you in my life, and God, universe knew I needed you. So basically, I had a mentor who passed away, and he was a very powerful part of my life. He was a Pisces and just a really powerful spirit. And actually my first money mentor, essentially. He was the first person to ever ask me, how much money do you want to make? And I was so broke. I mean, I think I was making $500 a month. Like I was just, and my rent was like $600. Like I was just so afraid of money. And he was a huge part of my journey. He passed away I think it was in 2020 sometime, or possibly in 2021. So one night I'm literally driving home and I basically start to talk out loud to David. And I'm just like, hey, David. I'm like, send me a song. I wasn't specific. I just said, hey, David, I miss you. Send me a song. Send me a song. You can communicate to me through a song. And in my mind, I'm like, he's going to send me this really nice song and it's going to be all spiritual and vibey and just like, you know, because I had actually felt him through music before. So I'm going in the car. I'm like, oh, Across the Universe is on. Okay. But it didn't really feel like him. I was kind of like, okay. So I get home. This is when I was in my relationship, and I get into bed and Mick and I are about to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, out of my phone that is on the floor, not being touched, the creepiest song starts playing out of Spotify with the creepiest cover ever. And I literally flip out. And Mick is like, why is there music on? And I was like, I have no freaking idea. So I turn it off. I look at the cover. It looks so freaky. And I'm like, thank God this man is sleeping next to me right now because this is so freaky. The next day, I was so shook up. I was like, oh my God, did I like invite in like a being? I was like, what happened? And of course, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. So I get on the phone with Leo. I go for like a 3-hour walk to like calm my nervous system down. And you said something that I'll never forget. You literally were like, Natalia, you are a healthy vibratory being. He's like, you're not doing anything that's like taking your vibration down so low. This was before my mediumship work as well. And I think it was just before actually. And when you said that to me and you were like, you're not going to invite in some dark vibration, like it's just not you. Yeah. And you have more sovereignty than that. So just like, it's okay. And there was something about it that just brought me so much peace because I feel like from seeing scary movies when I was younger, it made me really terrified of the other side. And you also told me in a session, you were like, you're like, Natalia, I think it's going to be a really big unlock for you when you stop being afraid of this part of existence.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember telling me that.
I don't, but it sounds great.
You're like, I'm so wise.
Sold.
I'm so wise. But like, what is your perspective on that? Like, I think you were kind of the first person to introduce the idea of like vibratory frequency and even just like physical to spiritual vibratory frequency to me is really how I interpreted that conversation.
Yeah, I think we call in things similar to us.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a sum of all of your parts. This is the other thing I think people struggle with. You're your slowest, heaviest, shadowiest part and your brightest electric part too.
Yep.
So you're the medium of all of you.
Yeah.
And so that's why shadow work and deep healing is so important. I'm always teaching like work on the thing that feels heaviest in your life before trying to amplify the brightest, because you'll slingshot forward when you get rid of the slowest part of you that's dragging its heels in the mud. And with non-physical beings, yeah, they need a frequency match. They need to kind of have a similarity. They need to have a parallel. So if one died with immense grief and they're carrying that grief in the afterlife, they're more likely to attach to someone that's also moving through really painful grief because it's a frequency match to their energetic experience. And so when you, with the phone and the music, I'm like, that's not, girl, it's not you.
David was a jokester too. Like, and then when I started learning more about the mediumship side and, you know, communication, it just, I was like, you would do that for me, because he also always knew I was afraid of that stuff. So I feel like he was like, let me just like really give her a run for her money and just help her like get through this. He probably cued me.
You want to sign?
He probably cued me to call you too and be like, Leo, freaking help her out. But no, it was really helpful. If you're standing at the edge of a major life, money, or business transition, and you know the next chapter requires a different level of support, this may be your moment to work with me one-to-one. There are 2 ways to do that. The first is my year-long total life transformation mentorship, a deeply supported journey where we work on your money, your vitality, and your visibility so the growth you create is embodied and sustainable. The second is my signature one-to-one money and business mentoring, focused strategic support to help you stabilize, grow, and lead your finances and business with clarity and confidence. Both are for women who value refinement and are ready to build a life and business with intention, time spaciousness, and depth. If you feel the call to work with me one-to-one, the application is waiting for you in the show notes. Okay, so you have your own method in terms of hypnotherapy, and you also have a beautiful certification and training that you do. Or I don't know if we call it a cert, but a training.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more about like your approach to hypnotherapy in the subconscious.
Yeah, I found hypnosis to be more like the state of mind, and then hypnotherapy is whatever tools or methods you use once you're in that state of mind. So hypnosis definitely puts you in an altered state. It's not like you're flying out of your body. It's not like being on mushrooms. It's kind of like when you first wake up in the morning or you're going to bed, you're kind of in the in-between. It's like being in that. And then I just wanted to bring in the tools that would be most impactful for someone in that liminal space. If you're highly suggestible, if you're wide open, if your consciousness is deep in contemplation, I want to know the precision of questions and pathways to take that can lead you to the greatest amount of healing. And so I went out and studied lots of different forms of therapy, and I took the tools that resonated with me the most, and I put them all into a blender, and that's what I teach my students.
What do you feel like has been the most profound part of your own subconscious healing journey?
I think to not put limitations on someone's healing journey via myself or others. I think I've learned you'll heal at the speed of truth you have capacity for.
Wow.
And Carolyn Miss talks about this a lot. If you truly believed you could heal overnight, you will. that has been very profound for me. I have seen some incredible transformations. People are always asking me, like, how do I do this the best? Like, how do I get the most out of this? How many sessions I'm going to need? How long is this going to take? I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. I'm asking the same questions. I'm taking people down similar pathways. Everyone's pathway is unique, but you get the most out of it when you can be radically honest with yourself about the answers. So if I ask you, how are you feeling about your mom? And you're like, oh, yeah, you know, like.
It's also what it's like to be
it's been
really
tough.
close with you.
You know, like we have good times, we have bad times. You know, like you could give me that answer, or I could say, is that your deepest truth about how you feel about your mom? And your eyes are closed, you're in that state. And you might sit there for a moment and come up with, I'm terrified that my mom might reject me if I'm my fullest self.
Wow.
That's what I'm terrified of. That if I'm really me, and I let myself shine and I let the boxes go of what she wants me to do with my life or who to be, I'm terrified that she might not like me. Now that's a much different answer, and that's going to produce a much more profound impact on your healing and energetic field. And that's kind of what I mean. And you can't really teach someone. That's something that takes practice. To hear an answer and to really question, like, is there another layer underneath that? Is there a deeper fear, a deeper worry? And so I think that has impacted me a lot. That also people's ability to learn how to access their next layer of truth. I mean, every day I'm in school watching these layers uncover. It's just a never-ending display of profound capacity people have.
And that's what I was saying for a moment. That's also what it's like to be close friends with you too. It's like, and being a Scorpio, it's just like, you do not surface level. I mean, we can be the goofiest goofs. Like, maybe we'll see if anything comes through naturally in this conversation, but we're so silly. But it's like, I love how perceptive you are. It's like, I remember one time, I think I was driving up to Ojai, and you and I had been trying to get a hold of each other so we could catch up and talk on the phone. And by the way, catch ups with Leo and I is Leo letting me talk for like an hour. And I think I asked you that last night. I was like, are you like okay with that? And you were like, yeah, you help me in other ways. And that's what serves me. And it's funny how I was like projecting like, oh, if I'm not showing up for Leo in the same way and letting him have all this airtime, like maybe he doesn't feel like it's reciprocal. And that was actually a really cool little light bulb moment for me of just being like, yeah, maybe what I need doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you need. And that was really special. But being friends with you is the best because you don't have surface level conversations and you ask. And I remember on that drive, I think you asked me a question and I was like, yeah, da, da, da. Like, I don't even know. I like gave you like a 3-word answer and you were like, tell me more.
It's always the pause.
The pregnant pause.
I'm coming. If you hear dead silence
Literally,
after a while,
I'm
coming for you.
You were not going to let me just like breeze on by. I was like, yeah, that was
like,
tracks.
Are we really going to? Must we? Must we do this dance?
Yeah, but
again,
it was like so
again.
like but it is powerful just having, obviously being in session with you, but then also just having like a presence in my life where you care genuinely. I actually do want to share something and then let's see kind of where we flow from there.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the day my dad died. And I don't know how I ended up getting on the phone with you when I was at LAX. Do you? I don't remember. I was out of my body. I think I had just kind of heard him for the last time. And I remember sitting at Barney's Beanery at LAX, at the LAX terminal. And I called you. I think I texted you and I was like, Leo, my dad is dying. Because it was very shocking. We didn't know my dad was going to die. We didn't think he was dying. And then all of a sudden it's like me and I was in my relationship zone. We're rushing to the airport and trying to get the flight and trying to, be with him. And I don't remember how you and I got on the phone, but somehow we freaking did. And I will just never, ever, ever forget the guttural cries. And crying in LAX is intense. Ooh. Not fun. And also, no one looks at you. Like, I remember sitting there and being like, wow, no one is looking at me. Like, it's so uncomfortable to be around someone in grief. And like, I don't even know, that was a little step beyond grief. But I just will never forget, Leo. Like, I don't remember what you said to me, but just your presence of like being there with me and just letting me be held by someone that I knew understood and didn't need anything from me in that moment. It was just so, it was really powerful for me. And I remember being on the floor with you, or on the phone with you. Maybe I was on the floor too, who knows? But I remember hearing, I think it was Switchfoot, and I Dare You to Move? It's a really powerful song, and I knew it really well in high school. And I heard a message from my dad say, you'll hear me in the happy music too. You're not just going to hear me in like all the sad stuff. And I don't know, Leo, that was a fucking powerful day. And I'm so grateful I had you. And and that was just the beginning, really. Because then you also walked me through my divorce and the preliminary journey that I went through with that. Yeah. And you're just a very deep soul, just to be able to, I don't know what contract we made with one another to just, it's really quite profound, honestly. Cause I don't really lean on a lot of people. It's just not, I don't feel safe to. I feel like I have to do more. This is something I think I'm getting a little better at, but I felt safe just letting you show up for me.
I mean, I always just consider it an incredibly deep honor to be with someone in a moment like that. It feels like each one feels like an invitation, and honestly kind of an initiation into what quality of presence you can bring into a moment like that. And so each one I learn a lot from, and I just consider everything to be a school, part of my education. And I mean, and this is what we're here for. Like when something cracks open like that, I get so, that's when I come alive. Totally. I'm like, oh, it's my time. It's my turn. Literally. It's like everything in between, I'm just kind of chilling. And then something like that happens that's just like 1 in a million. And it's like, oh, this is my contracted service. Yeah. This sliver of like the most intense moment for someone. Yeah. That's what I'm here for. Yeah. And I don't get sad. It doesn't drain me. I don't feel heavy. I don't take it on. Yeah. I don't walk away thinking about it. It doesn't keep me up at night. Wow. It doesn't drain me. It truly fills my life with light. Yeah. Yeah. It's the most Scorpio thing ever. I was just designed for the most intense moments. And just also the transitional times, where it's like, you are not a surface level person. But like I said, we're silly and we have fun. But it's just like, we're not really, you are definitely not like surface level. That's what I think that's the fascinating dichotomy of the Scorpionic personality is like, you are built and designed for those really extreme emotional, you're like built for it, honestly. 1,000%. And I think the ridiculousn's that is also in my energetic field. Oh, the dilly-dally vibes? Yeah, that's there too. We dilly and dally. Our favorite meme. I have 2 modes. I dilly, I dally. I mean, to me, the humor, the sarcasm, I also relish in it because you just have to. Also, when you're going so deep all the time, and you see that people make it to the other side, always. And let's say they don't. Let's say in the worst case scenario, they do pass. We're still talking and laughing. I mean, that's not to make light of the intense things that happen here. Yes. But I think the approach I'm always taking is like, take it seriously, but this goes so beyond and we'll be in communication.
Yeah.
And I love to be a witness to people's process. That's
100.
really it.
Obviously, without giving away any like identities or anything like that, is there any one session you've had that like really, really stands out to you, or something that like blew your mind?
For sure. I'm trying to think of one that will be
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Because the ones that are most impactful are the, most strange,
Yeah.
bizarre, really
Go
unique.
for it.
I
Safe space. Being recorded.
Right. Nobody's watching. No one will hear this.
Just you and me.
No one will know. I'll say this kind of more generally. My first year, I feel I was tested in my practitionership a lot to really see if I had the chops to do this. I think spirit, I had such a craving of curiosity of what could happen to someone. I think spirit was like, oh, okay, you're going to find out real quick.
Oh
you want to know what can happen inside someone's world? You want to know how strange this can get? Buckle up, kid, because we're coming for you. So that first year, I just had a lot of entities show up in sessions.
Really?
And a lot that were non-human. We were having this conversation earlier. If you believe in angels, then you need to also address that there's the opposite polarity of that.
Yeah.
You want to call them demons or dark energies?
Yes.
Use whatever label and term you want.
Yeah.
And just as I said before, I also approach them with curiosity and compassion.
Yes.
If you look at maybe videos of people doing like religious exorcisms, it's very intense. Throwing holy water on someone and they're freaking out.
Yeah.
Well, now you just pissed something off that wasn't mad before. Now you just made a bad problem worse.
Oh.
You brought a gun to a knife fight and you're wondering why it's freaking out. Because you're screaming, yelling, going through scripture and throwing water on this thing. So of course it's going to react negatively and up the ante.
Yes.
So if you approach like, hey, what are you doing here? Yes. Hey, how'd you get here?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What symptoms are you causing for my client? So I will never forget one it was about an hour and a half of going back and forth with this thing. It was putting me through the ringer. The number of symptoms this poor woman, it basically pulled out a scroll and was like, the migraines are me, the fatigue is me, the fainting is me, the autoimmune is me, the tiredness is me, she can't run, the thing in her joints is me. It was basically like, I'm the orchestrator. I'm like the conductor. I can call in other entities, and knowing what skills and personalities they have, I bring certain ones in to add to the network to mess with her.
Wow.
It gave me like a rundown of what it was doing in her spine, connecting to all her chakras so that it had like pulleys and levers in her system, energetic field to manipulate what symptoms it wanted to express. And at the very end, I finally got this thing on my side after a lot of sweating. And this was one of my first this was like, I was brand new. So I was sweating. And at the end, when it agreed to, it apologized. Wow. I got this thing to apologize to this woman and dismantle all of the architecture, all of the etheric technology I've put in her tour field. It said to me, and this was in person, by the way, this is before I was doing Zoom sessions. So this is truly, so this is in my house. This is happening in my house. Like just another layer of course. She kind of like sat up. that alone was terrifying. The eyes closed. She kind of like leaned forward, and this being was like, you will encounter beings that no one else will encounter, and you need to prepare because they're coming. And then was kind of like,
I'm speechless.
That's all. And then kind of left. It was like, just so you know, I'm the tip of the iceberg.
Oh my gosh.
A couple months later, every symptom it listed was gone for her.
Oh my God.
Every single one was gone.
Leo, I told you this, but before you and I did our session, our first one, I remember I couldn't sleep without like tarot and he was my boyfriend at the time. I would have I remember starting to become more aware of the intensity of my thoughts. Like I'd be having like a chill moment and all of a sudden it's like the most intense thought you can have about something. And it'd get me like really exacerbated. And especially it was hard to sleep by myself and like, or be in like a room that was like dark. I still sleep with night lights, like just so everyone knows, but yeah, my salt crystals. But it's interesting because I remember we did that session. I remember being on a retreat in Scottsdale and I text you and I said, whoa, Leo, all that exacerbation and the fear that I had when I'd be by myself is just gone. Gone. Like you can't like make that up. Like that is literally, there was a delineation 100% in, because these were very psychological and more energetic things for me. And then really having the experience where like I did feel safe and good and peaceful. And now I'm so grateful to be in a chapter and season of my life where I feel very, very deeply grounded and sovereign and healthy in all of the realms, we'll say.
Yeah.
But then like it was very overwhelming for me and very scary. So it was interesting that I was so drawn to you. That is a wild, Leo. I can't believe that.
They put me through the ringer. That first year, they put me through the ringer.
So when you're training, like let's say like your students who are in like your practitioner training, what is like a way that you help them like approach their ability to like do this?
It always starts with trauma therapy.
Interesting.
I spend the first 3-4 months just doing that.
Yes.
Just learning, and they're practicing every week on each other.
Yeah.
So they're getting months of deep excavation therapy, learning your parts, learning your history, looking through your ancestry, looking at the childhood memories. How were you born? In what way? Was there birth trauma coming into this world? Was there a tube wrapped around your neck? Was it a C-section? What part? Like, when did your self-sabotage come online? When did the perfectionism show up? When did you stop believing in yourself? When did your magic as a kid start to go away? When did you start to become afraid of the dark? Like, going through all of this is the foundation of the house. Everyone wants to do the fun mediumship, astral, dream. You know, like they want to do the interesting spiritual things. But if you don't have your tree deeply rooted in the earth to a root system that can hold and nourish you, that tree's going to fall over in one gust of wind. Yes.
I remember one time you and I were talking and you were saying how important it is when you are, in any kind of mentoring or being a practitioner of, let's say, like the esoteric arts, how important it is to have like talk therapy, how important it is to like do this deeper work. And I feel like for me, the mediumship, my approach to it didn't even come online until I had started to deeply, deeply heal. There was just never something I even accessed or thought about. If you're a woman who makes money or wants to make more of it, but still feels overwhelmed, disconnected, or unsure how to actually lead your finances, I created Magical Women and Money just for you. MWMM is where money meets self-trust, strategy meets intuition, and women stop outsourcing their financial power. Inside, I teach you how to organize your finances, understand your faulty money habits, align your earning with your astrology, and build real wealth for your future without shame, pressure, or feeling like you're behind. This is a personal finance meets astrology method that works. It's grounded, empowering money work for women that feels approachable and soulful. Join the waitlist for Magical Women and Money membership, MWMM. The link is in the show notes.
And I think that unlocking system is organically built into our energetic structuring.
Totally.
Because the system knows when something is ready to come online, when the overall safety is present. And that's why certain people lose it when they have certain if they awaken too quickly through drugs, plant medicine, trauma, shock, like if you get blasted open, you might receive a whole lot of downloads and information that could be very true. But if you don't have the foundation to safely hold it, it's going to overwhelm your system. And to me, I think that's what's happening with a lot of people that are in psychosis, schizophrenia, mania. I think their energetic channels were blasted open too quickly for their system to safely handle it.
Yes. It's really fascinating. I met a person once who, I don't remember exactly what he was diagnosed with, but it was so fascinating. He was like the most spiritual person I'd ever met, but he just could not function like in a, let's say, normal capacity. And he had like someone that was guiding him and taking care of him and helping him with kind of his earthly stuff. But I remember he like looked at me and I remember he said something to me and I was like, wow, you like really see me. Like he just like really, especially at that time in my life, I wasn't really used to people really getting me at all. Like, and I kind of just hid, or I just kind of did my thing under the radar. But I remember I was like, this is really fascinating. But he did have some kind of like diagnosis that was really like maybe a schizophrenia or something like this. And I just thought that was really, I just think what you're saying is interesting because I just, like, there's so much of the soul, the spirit world, our own oceanic subconscious that from the limited human mind, it's so hard to really have any kind of understanding, but like it's what we are. It's just so profound. And I think that's something you and I have always really connected on. It's just like the depth of wisdom from the soul.
Yeah.
And we're both dilly-dalliers and we're silly gooses, you know?
Constantly.
But it's like, but then we can have the deepest conversations and just really have like an understanding.
Yeah.
What is something that you would love to see as a healer? What's something you'd love to see healed in the collective, or even like in the people that you work with?
How much time we got?
I know, literally.
Like, where do we start? I think the number one that comes to mind is the disconnection from one another. I think most things stem from that. We're entered into a society where everything is separate, me, you, we have the space in between. There's no interconnectedness between us and nature or spirit or the earth or us and the plants or animals, or like what I do over here doesn't affect the country on the other side of the world. So I think, honestly, if we started there, that, what I do sends a ripple in all directions.
Yeah.
Every action, every thought, all of my relationships, everything I do in private shows up in my world, shows up in my body, shows up in my presence. I think, the disconnection from one another leads to a lot of illness.
It really does. Yeah. I feel like I even witnessed that like in my daddy's journey. Like it was interesting at his memorial, which was so beautiful. I talked to his sister, and she's the last remaining of the children and of my dad's siblings. And she said, oh, Natalia, she's like, we had immense trauma. She's like, it's unspeakable, like kind of the things that we experienced. And she's like, and your dad, he just went through a lot. And it was interesting she shared that with me in the way that she did. It gave me an even deeper understanding of my dad, because even the way he treated himself, he didn't treat himself with a lot of, he wasn't very healthy, and he got really sick, and it was, really hard to see at the end, and it scared me straight. And I've talked about that a lot on this podcast. Is like that actually just before my dad died is when I started to take my health extremely seriously, like on every level. And like, the physique shift is that's that's the cherry on top. But if this is a matter of like health and really being in a healthy place with myself, mind, body, soul. But I guess I just see from my own journey and even just witnessing my dad, like his behaviors and how he treated himself. And he, I guess behavior is a little bit of a strong word, but like his habits is more so what I mean, and how he treated himself. And it was very rooted in like lack of integration with trauma and things that had gone on in his life, especially when he was young. So it's just so important. And I just think what you're doing, and I love that you have your practitioner training and you're really helping to empower others to step into their journey as healers and not just healers, like Ghostbuster level, you know what I mean?
Warriors.
And just really help people live with more integration, because that's really what you've helped me do, is just like, and I'm grateful. I feel like I have a legion of light in my life, and we've all played the roles with one another of how to help each other heal.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants the fast track. Everyone wants the quick hack.
Our Capricorn risings are like, no.
Everyone, wants the shortcut. It's just, if I didn't have to spend 4 to 5 hours with people, I wouldn't. If there was a little, like hop, scoop, twiddly do.
Did you say hop, scoop?
Hop, scoop, twiddly do.
Hop, scoop?
And you get over it. I mean, it would be wonderful. But I think learning how to lean into your emotions, to feel what hasn't been felt, is the spiritual journey.
Yes.
So why should we remove that from the process? Shadow work, the healing path, is learning how to meet your own self in your depths and all of your emotions, to befriend all the parts of yourself that are difficult, ugly, that you don't want to look at. That's the healing path.
Yes.
And it's messy. It's chaotic. It's totally unplanned, unstructured. But that is the thing that's going to get you all the things people want: peace, health, success, opportunities. That's the foundation you build.
Absolutely.
And I just don't think that there's a lot of shortcuts to that.
Yeah. Healing is the way. To actually be able to heal and integrate. Yeah. I think it's interesting because I feel like I've had such a journey of like just really hating my body and wanting to look a certain way to be permissible. And I never could get there, especially when I was just so laden in so much self-loathing. I was in a misaligned relationship. My habits were all over the place because they were just rooted in avoidance, and they were rooted in like such a lack of just groundedness and truth with myself and honesty with myself. And it's really interesting because over the last year, and having transit Chiron on my sun, which is like, Chiron's known as the wounded healer, but it's like, it's like shamanic level emotional, like tear you down to build you back up. And having that on the planet that represents ego consciousness, it's been a journey for me. You've seen it in real time. But it's interesting how on the other side of like the letting go and the releasing the relationship, the experience and letting grief pour through me through my dad, the getting really rigorously honest in the work I'm doing around relationships. It's like on the other side, it's like my health being at a healthy weight, my digestion completely healing, my face shifting. It's just like fascinating because it's like none of that could be faked, and none of that could be landed on by force or hatred or avoidance of myself. It all actually,
or a quick fix.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
it's
quick fix to grief.
No. It's like
it's gonna be there.
Life gives you your process.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have 2 questions to end, and I don't want to. I don't want to be done.
I know.
But number 1, if you had a message for a woman in my community who maybe finds herself in like just a really tough season where there just feels like, I don't know how I'm going to get to the other side of this, what would be something that you would get from like the subconscious perspective, or something that she could like lovingly work with or get honest about?
I would get lovingly honest about writing down the thoughts in your mind that have those conversations in your head. I think it's alarming how much negativity lives up here until Byron Katie says all war belongs on paper, meaning all the war we wage in our heads, write it out so you can see how insane it is. If you, I mean, this is your roommate. If your roommate talked to you like this, would you live with them? Would you allow them to continue saying those things to you? So why do you allow your own self to say those things to you? On a loop, on repeat. And I think there's something about writing some of the fears down or the negative statements. I mean, again, it's not fun. You're not going to wake up like, today's the day I'm going to write all the, destructive, negative loops that go through my mind. But there is something cathartic about seeing them in reality, all laid out. It's kind of like some of it comes out of you, lives somewhere else, not just in here. And I think you can really sit with, is that really true? Am I really not going to get through this? Do I really not know what to do right now? Do I really not know one tiny next step to take in this moment? Not the big giant thing, not how am I going to find someone new, find a new job, but like the tiniest, smallest step after I've laid all of this out. And is there anything that connects me to the energy of grace? I think that's something I did a lot when I was going through transition periods. I would make myself voice notes that when I had a good day, I would record really positive voice notes for myself. And then I'd put them to binaural beats and I'd listen to them at the end of the night, or if I was having a bad day, so I could hear the tone, so I could remember who I was when I forgot. So it was like a message from my future or higher self that I got to listen to when I was going through it. So it's like if you have like one, you have 7 bad days, and if you have one afternoon when you're feeling good, record something. Record what you need to hear when you're not feeling good. And I think hearing it in your own voice, it always surprised me. Because I'm like, is that me? I'd hear it and I'd go, who is that? Because I wasn't feeling connected to that powerful, expansive version of me. And I think that got me through so much because it widened the lens that I was seeing through. When you're going through it, you're just seeing the turmoil of what's happening in present time and all the decisions you have to make and all the things that are coming up and all of the decisions that you have to make to get through this, moving, going through a divorce, the paperwork, the lawyer, it's like your mind just spirals. So to hear the power in your own voice and connect to a greater picture and perspective, all I can say is it helped me.
Thank you for that. If you had a message from your future self for Leo now, what would the message be?
To keep having a damn good time. Honestly, I can truly say through all of this, I've had so much fun. I have a blast. And I think what I hear from a lot of spiritual people is, how do I put this? They don't want to do anything drastic, but I hear this common theme of, but I don't want to be here anymore. Like, where's the next ticket out? Is the bus still running? Like, they're not saying they want to depart, but it's this feeling. And I hear this over and over and over again. And that's what I think the gift of like working with all this intensity, all this shadow work, all this dark thing gave me is some levity, some perspective. And I think it just allowed me to not take everything so seriously.
Yes.
Everyone takes everything so seriously.
Yes.
Like we're not meant to.
Yeah.
Look at Native people, look at tribal culture, look at the earth, look at the plants. Like show me like a serious flower. Like, come on, like look around. There's nothing. Look, show me like a depressed cloud, like a somber, like go out and look at what also created you and how you can connect to that energy. We're not separate from all of the other creations that are here, the natural creations. You are part of that world. And it is not supposed to be about trudging through everything, sacrificing your whole life, being with someone that you don't want to be with, being in a job that sucks your soul, being with a partner that just drains all of your time and energy, going to the family parties you hate going to, like being with friends that are just kind of like there and fine. It's like, stand up for yourself, shake it off. It's not the end of the world. Go laugh, have fun, find something that brings you joy. You'll make it through.
I'm so grateful for you. I love you so much. As always, best combo ever. And just thank you for being in my life and for all the ways you've helped me heal and evolve.
Love you.
Love you.